All right, all right. I didn't do three all rights because I didn't want to steal any thunder from Michael Hinderleiter. We were just talking about that. I want to introduce my good friend. Not that I need to introduce him. If you don't know who JC is, I don't know where you've been. Maybe you live under a rock. But Jared Chanowski with a Y. Welcome to the stage, my friend.
What's going on, man?
How we doing?
It's good, man. It's funny. We just fixed the I with the Y, and then I just looked on Facebook, and I'm on a live tonight, and they put an I.
It just makes more sense. I don't know. Maybe you misspell your own last name.
I must be doing something wrong, but I haven't seen that done in a while, so it's kind of funny. So that's two in one day.
That's funny. Yeah, we were talking about that right before we jumped in. I can't stand it when people put an E at the end of Steel. Obviously, no E at the end, but it happens all the time. I guess it's the more popular version.
Yeah, I think it's pretty common to see that.
So we have no idea what we're going to talk about today. We're just kind of winging it, but luckily we have a lot of history and a lot of things coming up to talk about. So we're just kind of going to wing it.
Dude, you've already got 400 viewers watching this, so we better figure something out.
428 actually. It keeps going up quick.
Just blowing up right now, man. Just shooting through the roof.
It must be that 20-second video you just made.
They're trying to see the outtakes.
Oh man, that is a pain point for sure.
Well, you did a video right. Like 2 weeks ago with all your outtakes.
Yeah, and that was only the outtakes that were acceptable to show to the general public.
I usually will start cursing, yelling. I've never thrown the phone yet, so I'm good about that because I don't want to break the phone. But gosh, dang it, does it not get me upset? Like, and especially when you're going, you're like, oh, this is the one, and then all of a sudden a word comes out wrong, or you just stutter, or you're like, what did you even just say? Like, no, retake.
Yeah, or right at the very end, right? It's like a 30-second or a 2-minute video, and right at the very end, you make that mistake, and you're like, that was the one. I got to do it again. It's the worst. It's the worst.
That's why I like the lives, though. It's like, you know what? If I mess up, oh, well, I'm rolling with it and you're just going to deal with it. But it doesn't seem like when I mess up on a live, I don't care. It's when I mess up on a video, I feel like, I know I could edit it and just keep rolling through it because I got a great video editor. But I want to send him one copy so he's not going through and trying to figure out where the good is, where the bad is. Was I standing in a different position? All those stuff.
Yeah, there's so much truth to that. It does feel easier when you're live because, it doesn't have to be perfect. You just kind of go with it. You're winging it. Like right now, even if I was trying to record this exact message, it would take me at least 20 takes. But some reason when you're doing it live.
Yeah, if you're listening and you've done this and you've got 20 outtakes on your phone for one video, can I get an amen? Like, I mean, I know we're not the only ones out there. But I just feel sometimes everybody thinks that they're the only ones. And that's why I love just being like real, raw and authentic with everybody and show them like, yeah, I'd be messing up too.
Speaking of real and authentic and raw, right before we jumped on, you asked me how business was going, how busy we are. Man, we are dead, scary dead. And this is the first time in years that we've experienced this. Of course, it's right before, we're on the East Coast, Southeast Coast. So it's right before the pollen season. And that always kind of hinders you. And it seems like it's a little bit later this year than normal. But still, the phone is just not ringing. And if it does ring, they say, can you put us on the schedule 3 weeks from now? It's like, sure we can. What do we do?
I get you on in like 2 hours.
Yeah, I could be there in 10 minutes.
I'm not desperate, I promise. I'm just in your area.
What's that 40% discount? Sure. I just want to keep my guys busy, and that's the truth of it. As business owners, man, we carry this burden. I know I do to take care of your people that take care of you. And man, I barely slept last night because it's just stressing me out. I can't stand it if they miss a single day. And I know you can relate to that.
No, absolutely. And, despite what everybody sees or thinks they know about business and, everybody on social and everything like that, they think everything is going great for everybody. But the truth of it is we all have our struggles. It may not be the same thing at the same capacity every single day, but, same thing for us. If we didn't have all these dryer vent cleanings we're doing right now, there's not enough work lined up for my guys, and we're doing the same things we normally do. I just and I don't like to use the economy as the excuse. I really don't think that's it. I think it has a part of it to do with it, but not the whole truth. And I know the fact that everywhere you turn now, there's a pressure washing company just starting up, getting started. I mean, I went to the TChem chemical store by me yesterday just to go get one of my machines looked at, and there's 2 more rigs sitting there getting built. Another guy who just started within a year ago. Everywhere on Facebook, there's a new post for a new company that I've never even heard of. And so the saturation is real. That I definitely feel has a huge impact on it. We're not the old chuck in the truck $200 house wash. So, our price and value is significantly higher than most of these other companies out there. And I do get people do want to save some money, but so that has a huge impact on the lack of work we've been getting as well too.
Yeah.
But the big thing is trying to remain positive and stay focused on the task at hand and doing everything we can be doing. I realized the other day, I was like, why are our phones not ringing? I freaking never turn my Google ads on. I thought we sent out the email to get them turned on, and all of a sudden now the phones are ringing. So
I did the same thing with our our reviews. So with Nice Job, we use Nice Job, and for some reason the connection between Nice Job and Jobber failed, and I didn't know that happened, and it happened for like over 2 months, and I'm like, man, what's going on? And I finally go in, and it's got that giant banner at the top that says connection failed, and as soon as I connected it, we got the campaign started. We got like 10 reviews in 2 days. I'm like, oh no, what have we done?
Yeah, that's why it's important to have those checks and balances and things in place to be, watching over everything, because we assume that everything was running smooth, so they're going smooth and nothing should be wrong. But here we go. I assumed our Google ads were on, and the second we turned them on, the phone starts ringing. It was crazy. It was like, well, we just lost that on probably 3 weeks of work because we assumed we were good to go.
Well, let's talk about that, because I think that's a great conversation. Actually, I got two points I want to talk about based on what you just said. Number one, I want to talk about the dryer vent cleaning. Was it a coincidence that you scheduled at this time of year and you just got lucky, or is that something you targeted because you knew it was going to be slow?
Oh, absolutely strategic. We plan this out in advance and discount it just so that they can either move their budgets, or we do 2 things. They'll either move their budgets for it and plan for that ahead, or if their budget is maybe, let's say, they're budgeted for March or April, we'll still do the work knowing that the pay is going to come in, just so that we keep the guys busy. And then, it just kind of sucks for cash flow, knowing
Right.
that you won't have that coming in, but at least we got the work done and it wasn't sending the guys home every day. And then they're like, well, I need something. And I'd rather keep them busy and just kind of dig into the bank account for a little while to keep them busy, knowing that's going to be coming in the next couple of weeks.
Yeah. So let's clear that up. I want to make sure I understand. You said you'll do the work in your slow season, but you let the HOA or the manager know that you're okay with delaying payment to fit their budget.
If we have nothing going on, yeah, absolutely. If they're like, some of them are budgeted, they have to get the work done in March because that's the only time they can release the funds, is March or April, or whatever it is. I mean, it could be pressure washing the buildings. We've done this too in June and July, where we'll do the work a month early and then invoice them the following month. So the work's already completed, but we don't get paid till the following month. It's really only truly effective if you have cash in the bank. Like if you're relying on this money coming in, you cannot afford to do this because you're going to be waiting 30 days to get paid, but your employees are getting paid for that week while they're doing the work. So it really will kill cash flow.
That could be said for any commercial project, honestly, commercial or industrial. If you're wanting to get into that industry and you think that that's the target for you, you better be prepared to carry that cost, because if they decide not to pay for 60 to 90 days, there's not a whole lot you can do about it.
No, you can email, call, whatever. I mean, shoot, you can thread them however you want to do, but until corporate releases or whoever releases it, and then they always find like, oh, if you guys needed to submit this lien release form, oh, you need to submit this form, or this wasn't signed right. It's like, dude, we've gone through all this too.
Yeah, I think we just hit our first our short video right there. That was perfect. So I had a property management company, I guess, that was in battles with the board of directors that they worked for, and I think lawsuits were flying, and we did the commercial pressure washing project for them. This must have been, I don't know, 15, 18 years ago. And I guess they just assumed that all the subcontractors involved with the old board of directors were in cahoots or something. I really don't know what the deal was, but anybody that did any work during that time period just didn't get paid
Mm.
until, and it took over a year and a half, and it was a substantial project. So it's like I could not cover that. I mean, it took everything in me not to pack up and give up, but I guess that's kind of another conversation as well.
Yeah, here's another business hack too. You can go ahead and write this one down. If you're doing work for any commercial, they usually have deadlines or periods where they have to submit the invoice for it to get paid within a 30-day pay cycle, whatever it is. So it's good to talk to the property managers and say, hey, when does this invoice have to be submitted by to get paid by X date? And sometimes it's going to be during the cleaning cycle while you're out there. So just say, hey, here, look, I'm giving you this invoice to submit it on this Monday. We're not going to get the work done until Friday, but we know we're still not going to pay until 2 weeks from now because this is your invoicing date. So
Hmm.
sometimes they'll work with you and at least get that sent off to whoever to get the paycheck cut, so that you're not waiting a whole another 2 weeks for that to start that cycle and get paid.
Yeah. Yeah, that's gold too, man, because like I said, it'll cripple you really quickly. And honestly, the relationship with a property manager, at least my experience has been um, instrumental in growth. Once a property manager finds someone they can count on, I mean, they will latch on. So you can have those open conversations about invoicing and make sure that you're being clear about expectations from the beginning. That they want to know they can count on you, and it needs to be the same the other direction as well. So
So I agree with you for most property managers, and I guess it depends on what industry we're talking about. I have seen though the last few years, like multifamily property managers, they just like transferring property to property. It's crazy. Like they'll be at one property one day, and the next month they're another one, and then 3 months later they're another one.
yeah,
And I'm sure it's for strategic reasons, or they just like to get transferred around. But you can give them the best service ever, which we always do. And if they find somebody that's $2 cheaper than you, and they look better on the balance sheet, bye.
for, for
Like
sure,
bye.
for sure. Yeah, yeah. There's no loyalty. There's no loyalty period in the service industry as far as I'm concerned. You know, you could have a client for 5 years, and then somebody shows up and it's 3% cheaper. Just like you said, it's that relationship just ended, and there's no phone call. There's no, hey, just so you
Yeah,
know, yeah, they
yeah.
don't care. They
No.
just don't care.
Now, commercial property managers, the bigger guys that are you have big portfolios, they like to stay with people because they don't want to have to worry about shopping around. They don't have to worry about the quality of the work. Once they find somebody and they get the best, they want to keep their tenants happy. They want to keep their bosses happy. So that one's a hard one to mess up.
Yeah,
So that's important to keep those relationships strong and provide tons of value for those. I mean, you should be doing for everybody, but those I've seen will have very long term relationships with them until they either retire or transfer out to another place. So I really do appreciate their loyalty and their understanding for finding a quality contractor that may be a little bit pricier, but they know that the service is going to get done and they're going to do everything to go above and beyond to make sure not only they're happy, their boss is happy, and the tenants of the property, whatever Washington's happy.
yeah. You know, there's a lot of seems like I'm in the real estate industry, and property management is absolutely a part of that industry. There seems to be a lot of changes in property management companies as of late. Over the last decade, I've seen more acquisitions, and I'm sure you've seen this. You know, you think you're working with residential first or first residential, and then a week later, it's a completely different conglomerate, giant multinational, you know, and you're like,
Yeah.
am I even dealing with the same people? And then the rules change, and some of them have, you know, they can spend up to $5,000 without getting board approval, and then it changes to $2,000, and it's like the playing field is constantly changing for us. So yeah, just staying on top of it and keeping those honest, real relationships with property managers has been a big part of our success.
Yeah, for sure. And then when they do transfer out, if you built up that great relationship, it's good to have them like, hey, while you're in transition, can you just let the new person know that we've been working with you for 6 years, and that we need to continue this relationship so they don't have to start over.
Yeah. Doug Brown commented, he said, I've moved with property managers. It's great. I assume you mean when they move to a new company, or not new area, but maybe you did. I don't know. But
Yeah,
yeah,
no,
new
we've had some luck with some of them too, Doug. And it's just after a while, though, it's just the regional management gets on them for like, hey, we need to cut expenses, and it's
yep.
just bye.
Yep. So the other thing you mentioned was putting those systems in place to keep you from um, what was it we were talking about earlier? Um, falling
Squirrel.
into those traps and yeah, go ahead.
No, I said squirrel.
Squirrel, squirrel, yeah. You mentioned creating systems to make sure that you don't make the same mistakes over and over again. Um, Speak about that a little bit. How do you actually do that? What does that look like for you?
Well, yeah, I mean, to go back to the Google Ads thing, um, Liz, my office manager, she sent me an email twice that was from my SEO or my Google ad company, asking, do I want to reactivate it? And I overlooked it or thought I responded to it, whatever it was. And then I said, Liz, like, here's the deal. In October, we shut down washing and we only focus on lights. And in January, we shut or December, really end of December, we shut down lights and go to wash. So she knows now going forward, like, all right, I don't even need to ask JC, like needs to get done. And
Right.
she'll document it and she'll know. So every little thing that we can do and have documented and have somebody checking over your shoulder, it makes it easier for us as business owners because we're constantly adding tasks, constantly adding different things to our plate, and it's just hard to focus on everything like we did in the beginning when it's just owner operator and we're just small. But now as we grow the company, you got a couple of rigs out there, sales team, admin, social media, and all that stuff. It's like we can only do so much focus on everything at one time, so we got to have somebody taking on those responsibilities for us so we don't have to worry about it at all.
Love it. Doug's got another question. He says, JC, who is that company doing your SEO in Google? I know the
Yeah,
answer to
so
that.
Zeke with Creatively Innovative. I've been with Zeke for, I just messaged him the other day, I think it's 6 years. And he's incredible. Absolutely love his company and what they have done for us on the Google ad sides. They do both the washing and the lights every single year. But I think it was 2019 or I don't even remember. I'll look it up real quick. But yeah, he's great. Creatively Innovative.
Very
2019.
cool.
Yeah, there you go. April 2019.
Well, let's jump into a pretty big event coming up for you. I know you and Angela have been working your tail off the last few months trying to get this ready. So if you haven't heard of Sales Boost yet, I don't. Maybe you do live under a rock. If you don't know who JC is and you don't know what Sales Boost is, you need to wake up because this is a huge event and it's honestly one of the best events in our industry, bar none. And I've been around a long time. So you guys need to check this out. Tell us a little bit about it.
Yeah, Sales Boost Live, March 20th to 23rd, Wilmington, North Carolina. It's a very sales niche focused event. It's not a trade show. We don't have vendors coming in there showcasing all their stuff. This is more about you, your business, and how you can grow your sales, how you can increase your closing percentage, how you can increase your average ticket, how to train your entire team from admin to the sales technicians or sales and technicians to be upselling and selling throughout the process of the customer. The speaker lineup, it's just, I mean, the speakers are incredible there, but that's not the main reason for going. As we know, as we attend these trade shows, we'll go there. The speakers are great, love them. Tommy Mello, Dave Carroll, Megan Likes, Marvin Salcido, Sam Gimbel, Angela Schroeder. I mean, the list goes on. But the connections and the relationships that you can build while you're out there too is just another reason to put your foot in the door and get your team there as well, because now it's not just me, JC, the owner, going there. If I'm bringing my team, my sales team, like I'm seeing through the lens of a business owner. If I got my team there, they're seeing this through the lens of a technician or the lens of a salesman. So they're going to pick up on different cues and hear different things while the speakers are speaking. But we just got 2.5 days built out of how to set yourself up for success. We talked about in the beginning of this phone call, like we're struggling. We've been in business for a while now, like yourself, Trevor, and even we struggle. So this isn't just for the beginning owner operator out there. We've had many companies out there that are doing 7 figures because you got to constantly be learning. You got to be constantly picking up on what's trending, how to be able to sell at a higher value to your customers when you have all these different companies out there selling pressure washing. Okay, well, what differentiates you from that company and those other 12 companies getting those bids out there? So we need to get there, listen to the speakers and be able to identify those reasons that why going with Cape Fear Pro Wash is the best value for you, your home, and not going with a company that's $150, $200 cheaper than you.
Yeah, I'd say Sales Boost is the name almost doesn't do it justice, to be honest, because it's way more than sales. It's systems, it's company culture. I mean, the lineup you've got, let's just call it what it is. You've got a huge lineup of speakers. And some of these guys, I mean, they're industry leaders. One in particular is a pretty big name that everybody knows, and I'm excited to hear him again. I've heard him speak several times. Maybe talk about his business and his industry a little bit. I know you know who I'm talking about.
Yeah, you're talking about Big Tommy Mello?
Yeah. His name doesn't even need to be said anymore. It's just like, the trademark guy, TM.
Yeah, I love Tommy, and I've heard Tommy speak 3 or 4 times now. But last year, his speech at Sales Boost was probably the most impactful one I heard. And you want to talk about a guy who will just give you everything because he wants everybody to be so successful. I mean, he wants to just build millionaires left and right.
And he is.
Yeah, and
that's the thing.
The one thing he said during the speech is like, I dream so big that everybody else's dreams can fit within my dreams.
That's so good.
This guy is out here just laying it out for you, just giving you the path to success to build out your business, just like he's done. I mean, he's started out just like us in his basement or his mom's garage, I believe it was, and built out an incredible company, A1 out in Phoenix. And yeah, he's opening up on Thursday. And another thing is like sometimes we need to hear these speakers to get motivated, to get excited. I know for me, like pressure washing is just numb for me. It's like, God, can we get back to Christmas lights? But I know once I walk away from this event, I'm going to walk away on fire. I'm going to have my sales team there. I'm going to have my technicians there as well, too, because I want them to be inspired as well and to not just be coming back from me, going back, hey, guys, I went to this convention and this is what we're going to do. And Tommy said this and David said this and Megan said this. Now they're going back and say, man, boss, like Tommy said this and it really inspired me. And I got this piece from Michael Gregory. I got this piece from Dan Plata, like all these little things. So they're coming at me with these ideas now. And now we can implement them together.
Yeah. To be honest, I still have not implemented everything. And I consider myself a pretty good implementer. I have not implemented everything from Sales Boost yet. And it's simply because there's so much content and it's so good. Michael Gregory, I mean, he basically changed my life in 10 minutes in Spartanburg, right? Yeah, Spartanburg.
Yeah.
I mean, his presentation about, KPIs and tracking, it honestly just dropped me to my knees and made me realize I'm doing everything wrong.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's the thing. We think we're doing things right. We think we have it all lined out, set up for success. And then you go and listen to these speakers and you're like, what have I been doing? Like I've been wasting countless hours, not tracking the right metrics, just looking at the wrong things, focus on the wrong tasks, KPIs, and then it's just laid out for you. These speakers, they've built incredible business themselves. That's why they're out there sharing their passion for what they do with you to set you up for success. So you're doing yourself a disservice by not attending these shows, not, valuing the time that they're going to give to you to help you build your company, build your empire.
Yeah. You mentioned good relationships that are built there as well. I would say our relationship started there. And I could name several other people I consider really good friends that our relationship started at Sales Boost last year. It's you go to these events that are more corporate, and you're just one of 3,000 people or whatever in the audience, and you don't feel like you're a part of anything. And then you go to an event like Sales Boost where you're bumping elbows with the same group of people, or you might connect with that person across the room and say, man, I really like what he said. And you could go spend the rest of the day with that person. It's created an environment where you can really latch on to your tribe, as you and Angela would call it, and and pick their brain in a comfortable, no judgment free zone. No judgment free, yeah, judgment free zone. So I think it's Pat did an incredible job creating Sales Boost, and you and Angela are taking, you know, something this level and taking it to the next level. And I'm super excited to see it. I can't wait to see y'all there.
Yeah, we're excited. Doug, no, it's not always in North Carolina. Typically, the previous years, it's actually been in South Carolina, but we're doing it in North Carolina this year. Next year will be more than likely in Orlando, but it is a once-a-year event. And then to build on that, the relationships, that's where the magic really happens. Like, I can't tell you how much stuff that I've learned, connections I made in breaks at night during the dinners, the meals, hanging out. And after that, like I said, our relationship, we were at Clipicon the week prior, and it was just like, what's up, Trev?
Yeah, it's like, oh, I know you.
And then we sat down at Sales Boost, and we actually had a conversation, and then that just blossomed. Like, oh shoot, yeah, this is cool. Like, we're the same people. Let's do this. And we've had some great conversations. Went on a trip together. So,
yeah, man. There's Angela.
And Doug, Mike Andes, Sam Gamble, Marvin Salcedo, they're all in the lawn care industry. They're going to be there. Really excited to hear Mike Andes speak. I've seen what he's doing right now on social media, on Facebook. I've never actually heard him speak, so I'm really excited to have him come in. And that's what we wanted. Like, I think everybody thinks this is meant for pressure washing, window cleaning, and
Right.
it started out as that. But business is business, sales is sales. The tactics were a little bit different, but that's what's nice, because it's nice to see what other industries are doing to be successful, whether it's high ticket sales, low ticket sales, whatever they're doing. But these business owners that are coming to speak, they've built incredible companies. So being able to hear their passion, their excitement, and what set them up for success, all you got to do is spin it, twist it around, mold it for your company, your culture, and then apply it. And then you should be able to have the same success they've had as well too. So I really do love pushing people to get out there and stop going to just your specific trade industry events.
Sure.
Because there's so much out there. Like, an HVAC trade show is on the list to go to this year. Those guys are selling like $15,000, $20,000, $30,000 tickets for installs and stuff like that.
Daily.
Really, same thing. Yeah, I mean, most HVAC companies are doing $1 million the first year, if not the first 6 months. And pressure washing companies, like 5-7 years for the one that just kind of like just going in the motion. So, like, I get it. They have higher ticket sales because it costs more, but they're able to sell their clients those tickets. So how can we apply that to adding the value stack to our customers to help increase our average ticket? I went to Sales Boost 2019, and it changed my life. Literally changed my life. Pat talked to me in January. He said, you need to come to Sales Boost. I thought he was just trying to pitch me, and he wasn't. Pat's like the most genuine guy I know.
Yep.
And I went there, and not only did we increase our closing percentage like that, we increased our prices right there on the spot. But our average ticket went from $300 to almost $900 within a week.
Yep.
So
just because you decided to. That's the crazy thing, right? You literally just were like, okay, let's try it, and it worked.
Yes.
And then you kick yourself, like, what have I been doing for the last 5-6 years? It's because you didn't ask, you weren't listening, you didn't follow the person or the people that went before you and did it. The path is not as hard as it needs to be.
We have that mindset that, oh, they can't afford it, or, oh, they don't want it. And once you get that different mindset and shift and say they do need it, and we are the company that needs to give it to them and offer it to them, like, you're helping that customer out. Because Trevor, if I call you out for a house wash and you hand me just a house wash, and then all of a sudden it rains next week, I'm like, shoot, my gutters are clean. Then you got to come back out there and give me another quote for the gutters. So I got to wait time for you to come give me the quote. And then you got to come back out there with your vehicle, or you come to my house and say, hey, JC, your house is dirty. While we're walking around, I saw that your gutters are dirty. Your driveway, it's pretty it's looking pretty dingy, and it's a little slip hazard over here. We can get that cleaned up for you nice and well too. And while we're at it, I saw the dryer vent in the back was clogged. I don't know if you know about that, but it messes with your efficiency of your dryer. Your energy costs go up. You're drying all this, and like give me all these different options with a discount. I'm like, well, shoot. I didn't know I can even clean my dryer vent. Yeah, I've been flipping on this concrete for weeks now. I just figured that's what it's going to be because I didn't know better. And you just added all this value and just saved me a lot of time for trying to figure it out on my own. So it's all
Yeah.
about the mentality and shifting your mindset to how you can best value that customer.
And I know what I would have said to you 3 or 4 years ago. Maybe I did. And I know there's some people that'll watch this that said, yeah, Trevor actually did say that to me before. I am not a salesperson. I don't like doing sales. I built my brand and my business to attract people to me, not the other way around. Right. But that got me to here. And then it just stopped. That's not going to get me to the next level. So if you're watching this and you're saying, I don't want to be a cheesy sales guy. It's not about being a cheesy sales guy at all. It's about delivering value. Put yourself in the homeowner's shoes, right? Let's say the homeowner makes $300,000 a year. He's got a $700,000 house. He or she has so many things on their plate that they just don't want to think about the gutters and the window cleaning and the driveway, whether or not I need to do this time or next time. Solve their problems, present them with package A, B, and C, right? These are simple things in most sales worlds, but our industry does not teach you this. Sales Boost does teach you this. You will get these systems, you will get these formulas, the actual raw data, the forms that you can use to implement these systems. So even if you're an introverted non-salesperson like me, you just follow the steps and you will be successful. It is that simple.
Yeah. And it's all about building confidence in yourself and your company. Because again, we can go out and say, hey, Trevor, here's a $200 house wash to wash your house. There's no value in that.
No,
Like
none.
there's no value at that. We did a speech, Angela and I, last week at the PWMCA, and communication equals value. So if we're communicating everything we're doing along the way, the steps, the processes, how we're going to clean their home, that $200 house wash now just became a $450 house wash, but we're showing them the steps. We're talking about the process. We're going through everything. So there's no questions. So they know that, like, all right, my outlets are going to get protected. They're going to tape them off. They're going to tape off the keyholes, the door. Like, the other company didn't mention any of this stuff. They just said they're going to come just wash my house. And like,
right.
What about all this stuff now? I didn't even think about this stuff. So we're taking that away from them to have to worry about, like, oh, okay. All right, great. Like, we don't want to be the what's the cheap car? I don't even know what a cheap car nowadays. They're all
Pinto.
Expensive.
You don't want to be a Ford Focus.
Isn't that Pinto Bean? Yeah. I can afford Focus, man. But yeah, we want to be the Bentleys, the Maseratis, right? We want them like to feel good about when they're going to go spend their money. They're feeling good about it, knowing that their biggest asset they own, their home, is getting taken care of.
Yep. So I don't want this to feel like a sales pitch either, right? That's I'm thinking in the back of my head. Oh, people think I'm just trying to get you to Sales Boost. No, I'm trying to change your life, dude. Seriously, it changed JC's trajectory so much that he bought Sales Boost, y'all. Are you getting this? Like, this is real stuff. So if you don't want to buy into the systems, so be it. But you're only hurting yourself. I can't wait to see everybody there again. I'm going to take a lot of notes, and I'm going to be implementing stuff for the next year.
So here's the thing, like, this is for any trade show you go to. Angela does a really good job talking about implementation, and we did this at the end of the Huge last year. You got to go there with a purpose. Like, why am I going there? All right, I want to figure out how to increase my average ticket. I want to, figure out how to hire more technicians. I want to figure out how to do performance pay, things like that. Like, have a purpose, and I want to go meet Trevor. Like, that's like the top 10 list to go meet Trevor and go shake hands with Tommy, get a picture with Tommy, like all these things. Write it out so that while you're there, you're making sure you're getting it done. And then as you're going through the classes, figure out these things. Like, you're going to get information overload. Like, oh my God, I gotta go back and do this. Got to go back and do this. But then don't go back and do the hardest task, because it's going to take forever and you're not going to feel like you accomplished anything. You're going to feel like, oh man, I got this whole notebook and nothing's been done. Find the easiest task. I don't even care if that's changing the description on your estimate sheet, so it doesn't say pressure wash home. It says 5-star low pressure house washing to include You can do that in 10 minutes on ChatGPT and knock it out. Done. Check, gold star, on to the next one. Now I feel like I accomplished something. Then we'll go on the next one, and then just keep that going. Just put them in order as important, but don't try and do the biggest, hardest, most difficult task first, because then you're like, well, sales boost sucked. I got nothing out of it. Well, no, it's because you just failed to implement.
Yeah. So Jocko, I think it's Willenick. I'm probably messed that up, but everybody knows who Jocko is. I'm going through his book, excuse me, in Audible right now, and he
Which
says, "Oh gosh, don't do that."
Economy of a Leader?
No, his first book. I don't know. It's Audible. I'm not holding the book. I'll see the title, but he says prioritize and execute. That's one of his principles. I'm going to think of the name of the book in a second, but prioritize and execute. If you know the name of the book, put it in the comments so you can save me here from looking like a jackwagon. But prioritize and execute. That's essentially what you're talking about. When you feel overwhelmed, you've got all these big to-do lists. Prioritize, execute. Go to the next one. Prioritize, execute. Prioritize, execute. And I love what you said about starting simple, because confidence is built from discipline in checking off things on your to-do list in an effective, efficient manner. And if you want to build confidence, start checking those things off, man, and you'll see. It's like running for training for a marathon. You just need to run that first half marathon or first half mile, and then tell yourself, okay, one more half mile. And then 3 days later, you're like, I'm going to do 3 miles. You just got to keep chugging away at the little things until you eventually build a platform where you can succeed.
Was it Extreme Ownership?
That's it. Thank you.
There we go.
Who said that? You
Doug,
looked it up.
Doug had leadership, and he got me triggered right there. So
my man, Doug, thank you.
Yeah.
Extreme Ownership. That's it. I listen in Audible, man. I jump into Spotify and I click it and it starts playing. I don't even look at the title. I'm horrible. Don't even know the guy's last name. That's even worse.
I'm on Grant Cardone's 10X Mentor right now, and I really like that one. Really, really like that one. And then he's got that Undercover Billionaire on. I started watching that with Angela. I need to finish it out because it's actually really good. It's better than watching some of these kid shows that I watched.
Speaking of speakers at Sales Boost, you gonna have John there? John Majak?
No,
he's not there this time.
Yeah, we just saw John down in Florida, though. He just got his Audible out for that book.
Yeah, that's what made me think of it. I'm going to check out his Audible because I haven't had a chance to pick up the book yet, but I started.
Yeah, I'm a listener myself too. I like the Audibles, especially when I'm driving. I like go through cycles though, especially when I'm at the gym. I'll listen to a piece of it, but then I start working out, so I got to go back. I'm like, damn, I need to hear that piece again. Like that's what I like about the thing. I heard if you read the book and listen to the book at the same time, it's double better for you. But I just don't have that time right now.
Yeah, I'm going to listen to an Audible and read along. It's not going to happen. That's definitely not going to happen. I probably couldn't keep up. I'd get through 2 sentences and then, like you said, squirrel.
Yeah, exactly. Or be sleeping.
Yeah, exactly. So what else we got? What do you want to talk about? We're in about 40 minutes. We usually run about 50 to 55. So how about any questions? Anybody have any questions?
Yeah, whoever's online, if they got any questions, want to talk about anything, business, life, don't bring up politics and religion, please. I'm too sober. But yeah, we'll talk about whatever.
Do that at Sales Boost.
What's that?
I said, bring those topics up at Sales Boost by the bar. Let's see. Are you giving out a new sales systems binder at Sales Boost? That's a good question, Michael.
We're working on that right now, Michael. To build out the whole program and the guide. It's gonna be some new stuff from last year. If you went, I'm not sure if you went last year or whatnot. So there will be some updated items, yes. But everybody will get like the big program with literature and everything else for systems and stuff like that.
Yeah. So that would include what, like processes and forms and
yeah, well, like the sales sheet that Pat used in the past and things like that. Phone scripts we'll probably throw in there as well too, just things like that. It's just a baseline for everybody to get started with it, everything, and then you just tailor it for your own company. Michael, you going this year? Did you get tickets yet? If not, let me know. We'll get you a discount. But salesboostlive.com, you go there. You can use the code. I don't know what code we can use today for.
What was mine? You gave me one.
Did I?
Was it Trevor Steel?
That was just Trevor then.
Trevor.
You
Okay.
use code Trevor and get a $300 discount.
Whoop whoop.
Yeah. What else, Trevor? I don't know. What's it's freaking March on what's today? Wednesday on Friday. That's crazy.
Yeah. Tell me about it.
Oh, so I got a good one for you. I did a post yesterday too, talking about competition and versus collaboration, and as we see these other companies coming up left and right, like don't fear them. Don't be like, oh, there's another company coming up here, like just ruin the market. Don't assume, because guess what? At one point you were that guy,
That's
and
right.
you didn't want everybody else thinking the same thing about you. So be humble. I mean, yesterday I was dropping my truck off the pressure washer to get looked at, and there's just a younger guy standing there getting his truck worked on with a little 5.5 gallon in the back of his truck, getting some hose reels put on. I could have just looked at him like, yeah, I got 5 trucks, and what do you got? No, I was like, hey man, what's up? And we just started talking, and I went through everything with him. We talked about marketing, yard signs, door hangers, sales, average ticket, because things we don't think about early on. He didn't know his average ticket, which is completely fine because I didn't know mine years ago. But I just kept adding like all this value to him to help better him as a business owner, so that when we do compete against each other, which we will, that we're competing on the same level and not the $200 pressure wash versus $450K for your pro wash. And maybe now it's $450 versus $430. And then the customer's like, okay, well now this seems,
Right.
better. But had I just looked at him and walked away from him and just said, whatever, like I was doing my company a disservice, and I'd be doing him a disservice, because when I was young coming up, I wished that somebody came up to me and started talking to me and invited me to the area. I had him to a local Facebook group that we have. I invited him to sales booths. I even invited him to my shop. Like, dude, come on in. Come look at everything we have. Like, there's no secrets here. And that's what I love about Pat. I mean, just there is no secrets. Like, here, come have everything. Like, it is open to you. You can have it. We're not going to be competing. We're going to be collaborating against each other.
Yeah, I love that topic because, and to be honest, Pat's the reason that I changed my mindset on this as well. Pat has influenced so many people in this industry. I don't know if he even realizes it yet, but one day he will. But just last month, I had somebody in my office who worked with me to hang Christmas lights over the season. And man, it's just one of those guys that you want to do what you can to get him on your team, and maybe even in a leadership management type position. So he came into my office, and I'm sitting down with him, and I'm thinking to myself, yes, I've done it. He wants to join full time. We're gonna expand into new territory. This guy's the perfect candidate, and he's got some money, so he's willing to be part of it. And he sits down, he says, so I just bought a rig and I'm starting a pressure washing company, and he lives 2 miles from me. I'm like, okay, all right, well, not what I was looking for, but let's talk about it. And so I love it, man. I've helped at least 3 or 4 people in my direct competition in my market get into the industry. And I look at it this way. I don't know what their goals are, but I know what mine are. And I know that at some point, if they're not on my level mindset, they're either going to want to get out, or they're going to say this is too hard or too difficult. And they're going to call me and say, hey man, listen, I'm thinking about moving on. I want to do this business. I want to do that. And that's the best phone call you can get, right? Because then it's like, okay, time to expand, time to talk acquisitions. And that's always been my goal. So you never know where a conversation will end up. So treat your competition with respect. And I think it'll pay off in the end.
You want to talk about a full circle? A guy that used to be in my area was probably my biggest competitor locally. Like, I mean, we were right next to each other, same town, everything. Great guy, great company. He hurt his shoulder and couldn't work anymore. Like, he just couldn't physically like run the pressure washer, the pressure and everything like that. So I bought the company from him 2019. And he went on to do some other things. His son ended up working with me for a couple of years with Christmas lights and pressure washing. Great kid. Now he's actually off doing electrical work. But for the last couple of years, I'm like, hey, buddy. I'm like, what you doing, man? It's like, you want to come work for us and do some sales? Because he's a great sales guy. Like, he loves to talk. He's got the gift of gab, which I don't, and he's incredible at it. And lo and behold, I think it was 3 weeks ago. Well, really 6 weeks ago, we opened up the conversation again. 3 weeks ago, he started working for me.
That's fantastic, man. Like I said, you never know where a conversation is going to end up. So, and you never know when what somebody's dealing with in the moment, right? So just have grace with people in general, and it'll pay in dividends down the road.
For
Doug
sure.
says, "Is there any way to get some of the info you're talking about?" He's talking about the processes and the forms and that kind of stuff. Even if you can't make sales boost this year.
We haven't really identified that yet, Doug. Maybe it's something we look at as we get done with sales boost. Right now, we're just trying to build it all out for everybody showing up. So,
Yeah, Michael, you got to be there, man. Got to be there. I think that goes along with the same question. Michael Stewart, a good buddy of mine, he says, "Unfortunately, I can't make it this year. Thought about paying for admission just to get the binder."
I mean, we can work on something, Michael. We'll figure something out. Want to make sure you get taken care of, though.
All
Sorry,
right,
won't be making
this comment's going to cover the entire page.
it.
Oh, maybe it didn't. Oh, that's disappointing. Zig Scott, what
Write a
an
big.
awesome name, Zig Scott, and he's a hunter. I like him already. I've helped 2 firemen that work on the same fire department as me get their company started and off the ground. The guy who got me started in my service is in my service area too. I'm friends with all the local companies. I love that, man. It's never been a bad experience.
Yeah, here's the thing. As they're starting out, they don't know everything. They're not going to be able to handle every single job. So maybe they get a commercial lead that you didn't get, and now we can partner up on that, and we can go in, take a cut, they take a cut, they learn, and we all make out on that deal. But you just never know the circumstances. I've had that done with the lights, Christmas lights too. We're really big on commercial projects, and some people can't handle those bigger ones, and they'll come off to us. And there's some projects that we don't want to do. Like, we don't go into one area that's a little bit north of us, and it could be our service area. I just don't like going up there. So there's another very well reputable company up there that as soon as we hear that name, Jacksonville, sorry, man, we don't service that area, but here, go ahead and call this company. We highly recommend them. Great service, and then same thing for us, like, or them when they get phone calls to Wilmington, they don't go down there. It's just too far from the travel, so they automatically refer back and forth. So we built this relationship because we both know we're giving incredible value to our customers, so that when we hand them off, we know the last thing I want to do to a customer who, I spent money to find on Google, and they made the phone call to say, nope, we don't service your area. Bye. Like, that's not doing them any service. Like, that, don't do that. Stop doing that. If you're doing that, find somebody that you know, like, and trust and can refer them to, because that's going to go a long way when they remember that. It's like, oh, you know what? We tried calling Cape Fear Pro Wash, but they couldn't service us, and they lent us this, this company. And they might remember your name when somebody in your area says, hey, who's the company I can call? Well, call Cape Fear Pro Wash. But that cross promoting to each other, that's done, I mean, incredible for us over the years of how much that referral coming back from that other company does for us.
Yep. Love it. What else y'all got? We got a few minutes here. We'll let you leave it open to questions if you have anything you want us to talk about, or a topic, or if you have any questions for Jared Chanowski with a Y.
With a Y.
How many people call you JC Chanowski? And you're like,
well,
that doesn't even make sense.
Up until a year ago, I mean, almost everybody called me JC. Now it's so weird that's how I know who knows me and who doesn't know me. If they call me Jared, then they don't know me. They just know Facebook me. So
that's
it is
funny.
It is kind of funny. And it's even funnier, like, when people that have known me for a while, but now unless they see as Jared, that they call me Jared. I'm like, God, I hate you, Mr. friggin' Zuckerberg.
Your purple light went away. If you're not watching live, you're only listening to it.
I think it's still there. I think
I like blue better, man. I don't know. I'm kind of
nothing
partial to blue.
It just moved. I moved and the lighting changed on my camera. I don't know. Anyway, well, I'm excited to see you in 3 weeks, man. I can't believe Sales Boost is literally 3 weeks away. I mean, 3 weeks from today. Holy cow. 21 days.
Yeah. I'm sure the blocks are done for the hotel, right? The rooms.
No, we had them extended another week. So I think Friday is the last day, just because kind of everybody's dragging their feet right now. But if you know you're going, or unsure if you're going, go ahead and get the room block. It's on the Sales Boost Live. Go ahead and book the room, because once that room block is gone, the price for the hotel is pretty ridiculous. It's spring. in Wilmington. It's a beautiful area. So if you've never been, great location. Airport's 20 minutes from the venue, so it's a quick Uber ride over. Downtown on the river, Battleship, great food, all that stuff. Be a good time. I'm
Where
excited though.
where is it?
The
What
Ballast,
hotel? Okay. Yeah, I was
yeah,
just down there. Yeah, no, let's talk about this. Let's talk about we've got maybe 5, 10 more minutes and we'll do it briefly. You mentioned earlier, or you mentioned earlier, going to different industry events. And I've only been to a couple, and I just came back from Top Rep, my buddy Chuck Toki. If you don't follow Top Rep, this guy is, I mean, as far as sales go, sales training, he's probably top 5 in the country, if not the world. Unbelievable, crazy talented fellow introvert like me. So I don't know how he gets on that stage and does what he does, but he's going to be on my podcast in a few weeks as well. Just an
nice.
incredible person. And we went to Top Rep in Wilmington. He came to Wilmington, so I figured that was just too close to home for me not to go check it out. And I mean, these guys are. I met one company, and I'm not going to mention names, that does just door knocking. They call it canvassing, just door knocking, and they do over, well, I think he said 20 million. I can't remember, but 95% of their business comes from door knocking.
That's
And
crazy.
I was like, you got to be kidding me. And this is mostly roofers, right? So then my gears are turning. I'm like, okay, door knocking, that is not something an introvert wants to do, but maybe I've got my blinders on and I need to wake up because we're certainly not doing 20 million. So, of course, their average ticket is extremely higher, but going to all these different industry events, man, it really just makes you open up your mind and realize that there's a lot more to this than this thing called business. And we get stuck as window cleaners or pressure washers or gutter cleaners doing these average tickets. We get stuck on just trying to keep the guys busy, that we don't focus on the bigger tickets and the bigger picture. And so we really learned a lot. I know I did, from being at that event. So I encourage you to check out other events as well.
Yeah, I mean, I was only there for what, 2 hours, and I learned a lot. I can't smile, Josh. I'm sorry, I won't smile for you. Um, um, I learned a lot from hearing Chuck on stage in the breakout rooms, and it was cool because the Scorpion guy that was talking about the SEO. Do you remember him? Were you in there for that?
Yeah. Yeah. I missed the beginning of it, but yeah.
So
Mhm.
I actually applied or just signed up to get his get on a call with him. I got a call with him Monday, and it's cool because I wasn't sure about my SEO company and all that stuff. And this is not Zeke. This is a completely different company. But he went through. He's like, normally I'll find something wrong with it, and maybe you can change this and change that. But like, you're pretty good. Like everything looks pretty solid on your SEO right now, and I can't
He's
find.
the biggest in the country, right? Wasn't he the biggest in the country?
They're pretty big. They're pretty big, and like he was going through pages and trying to find stuff. He's like, look, dude, I'm not going to just come and try and take your money because there's really not much. You could just do a couple things, but which made me feel really good that we have the best out there for our company. So, but yeah, just going there and hearing the different industries. Like, granted, it was mainly a roofing industry out there, and they had the concrete coating stuff. But like, again, business is business. How can we implement what they're doing? Door knocking is not dead, but why are we not doing it? Are we
Yeah.
afraid of those no soliciting signs?
Solo sighting.
You're not soliciting. You're just giving them information. Just go ahead and knock on the door and give them. Here you go, man. I'm going to be in the neighborhood next week. Just want to give you some information about our company. Let us know if you want our services.
Doug wants to know how many people typically attend. I know last
Yeah,
year
last
was.
year we had about, I think it was 125. So I think we're about 150 this year. We're hoping for.
That's the
So
perfect size, to be honest. Like I said before, having the ability to connect with somebody one-on-one on a smaller venue like that is instrumental. You go to
yeah,
these
Doug,
big
I don't know
events
if
and
you
you just
want
don't have a
to.
chance.
Doug, did you go to Equip? Because that was insane. I went to Equip in Louisville, Kentucky, Trevor, in October. It was the largest convention I've ever been to, and I've been to a lot of trade shows for different industries, including like a beauty distribution hair salon stuff that filled up the Javits
Oh,
in New
yeah.
York. And that was wild. And this one, Equip, they had an outdoor playground where you can go drive excavators and stuff like that. Like the outdoor convention was just as big as the indoor, and the indoor was insane. You needed a map to get through there just to navigate. And this is
Yeah.
just for the for the trade show. It wasn't even the speakers or anything like that.
Yeah, and how do you walk away with any real legitimate content from an event like that? It's so if you want to grow and scale your business, you have to be at Sales Boost. It's I love going to the huge. It's one of my go-tos every year, for sure. But it's for a different reason.
Right. Yeah.
There's only a handful of events that I will go to every year. Sales Boost is definitely top 3.
Well, and here's the reason why Sales Boost makes the most sense. When does your season start? Now.
Right now.
So going to an event later in the year, and again, I go to the huge every year. I'm not putting it down. Like the value doesn't make sense. Like going to an event now, so you kick your season off and set your business up for success, and apply the things you're learning now instead of waiting till any other event later on the year when you're busy or you've got the machine well oiled and run. Now you can shift some things around, make some changes, and start implementing. Raise your price 10%. Start building out the packages and bundles, give them the good, better, best, whatever it is, and start providing more value instead of just keep doing the same thing you're doing right now, which is just turning and turning and turning. Yep. Again, we make so many mistakes over and over and over. Expensive mistakes, marketing mistakes. Like how many thousands of dollars have I wasted on EDM because the message wasn't clear? How many thousands
or inconsistent?
Yeah. How many thousands of dollars did we miss out on because we weren't delivering an estimate to the customer at the highest value and talking to them because we listened to them?
Yep.
So we're wasting money and losing money, but we're going to sit here and say, I can't afford to go to an event that's going to make me money and help me understand my systems better and help me be a better marketer and close on more sales and have higher average tickets. Like that doesn't make sense at all.
Yeah. So, well, I'll end with this. And this is a quote directly from Pat Clark. You don't know what you don't know. And that, you need to humble yourself, open your eyes, go to events like this, listen, keep your mouth shut, and pick up the pieces. Michael Stewart's been commenting. He's heard me have strong opinions about territory managers and doing multi-package pricing and sales tactics. And over the last few years, I've just been fighting it and fighting it and fighting it. Well, I was wrong, period. End of discussion. I was so wrong about that. And now I'm still fighting to build and implement. And the people that started doing this years before I did are crushing me because of it. So, I'm trying to catch up because I wasn't humble enough to listen. And I hope that doesn't happen to you. So come to Sales Boost.
Well, I want to end with a Pat Clark quote then.
Oh, come on.
All
bring
right.
the love.
Let's bring the Pat Clark. And Goya, get off your ass and get the Sales Boost.
That's right. You don't know what you don't know, and get off your ass. We'll see you at Sales Boost, March 20th. I'll put the link 23rd. Up again.
Yeah.
Did I get that date right?
Yeah, 20th to the 23rd.
There you go. That's not the one. That's communication equals value. You said that earlier, and I loved it, so I put it out there. Here you go. Sales Boost Live.
When I wrote that in my slide for a speech with Angela down in Florida, she looked at me. She's like, what does that mean?
We need those people in our lives too, JC. But
God, I love her. I'm gonna get in trouble for this one because she's probably listening.
That's okay. I can edit it for the podcast version. So salesboostlive.com, promo code Trevor, we think, and that gets you, I believe it was $300 off your ticket price.
Yep. See, she's listening. Shit, I'm in trouble.
Oh yeah, you're screwed. Hope to see y'all there. JC, thank you so much. How do we connect with you, JC?
If you want me on Facebook, you can go find Jared because Facebook is awesome. That's probably the best way to get a hold of me. And then we can chat. We can talk about lights. We can talk about business. We can talk about ways to help grow your business, implement ideas, all the fun stuff, especially if it's Christmas. I'd love to talk to you. Jesus. I'm going to the couch.
All right. Thanks, JC. Love you, brother.
Bye.